What's up, guys? Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project, and you're listening to the Weekly Pour podcast.
Hey guys, it's LIII, and you're listening to the Weekly Pour. Great metalheads, crazy music, because we all bleed metal. Ciao.
Hola, amigos. This is Billy Sheehan. You're listening to me right here and watching on the Weekly Pour podcast. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi from, just about every band but ABBA, and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Turn it up.
I'm Logan, right?
Yes.
That's how all right, I'll go now. What's up, everybody? It's Logan from All the Pretty Things, and you're listening to Tbt and Ace on the Weekly Pour podcast.
My name's Reggie, and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, Tbt and Ace.
What is going on? Welcome. This is the Weekly Pour podcast. This is episode 53. This is TBT. That is Ace. If you're new to joining us, welcome. Like I said, episode 53. The last episode was 52, if you're keeping count. We are here. You are there. They build. They do. They do build. Let's see. Jumping into the chat, if anybody's actually watching via our YouTube, we are live broadcasting. Natalie is in the chat. She is, of course, our moderator for now until she gets fired for the sixth time in just 2 weeks. Looks like Lou is in the chat. Lou is in from the road. We've got Bobby in there right now. So if you're in the chat, be sure to jump in, say hey, hit that thumbs up, and help us drive some traffic. And of course, if you don't subscribe, you better hit that subscribe button so you get notifications when we go live. Or if you don't want the notifications, just don't. But you still need to hit that notification button. Anyway, it's been a big week in some releases on albums, which we'll get into here shortly. Number one would be the new Avenged Sevenfold, which again we'll get into here very shortly. But holy crap, what a good album! We've got we'll dive into that here shortly. But what else has been? What's been going on with you?
Man, I've been doing nothing but chasing my tail, trying to get home projects done.
Well, so, and you just recently went through some renovations to your place, correct?
We're still in the middle of it.
Oh.
You have the garage mahal.
Correct.
I've got the basement.
We'll call it the basement mahal.
Yeah. So, I've been trying to get that done along with the 3 jobs I have and all the work around the house. And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Right. It's almost like you need 2 of you.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. So, been very, very busy today, though. I came home from work and I walked out to my pool, which is nice and bright and clean and pretty now, thanks to my lovely wife.
Does it have water in it?
It does. Crystal clear blue water. And I hopped on a float and I floated for an hour and a half.
I can tell. You look like you got some sun.
I did. And I think I slept. I think I snored.
Oh.
And
I mean, I guess it's okay if you snore as long as you don't like roll over into the water and snore while you're in the water.
Oh my gosh. I would drown.
Right. And that would not make for a good episode.
And you would be doing this by yourself, wondering what to do.
Yeah, can't do that. Natalie just said she's jealous. I don't know if she said she's jealous about you going into the pool or if she's jealous that you were snoring.
Well, Natalie's at a pool every day, I think, so she's enjoying one as well. So
yeah, so I really don't want to hear about her being jealous.
Yeah, she gets a lot more time in the pool than I do.
Yeah, exactly. You just went dark there for a second. That was weird.
I did?
Yeah, like your light just like really was weird.
Oh, my iPad keeps turning off. I have to keep tapping it.
Ah, yes, technology.
I need to fix it. Can you fix it to where it stays on longer?
Sure. Yeah, there's like a sleep mode or something to where you can tell it to not go to sleep.
Yeah, I don't want to go to sleep. It's annoying.
Yeah, exactly. Um, exactly. Sorry,
So
I
yeah,
had to look at my text messages real quick because I have a few coming in. I've got a group chat with some other friends, and there's a picture floating around of a male colleague, if you will, a someone who we're familiar with, you are familiar with too. And picture of his there's a picture of his nipple going around. I'll just go ahead and throw that
what?
out there. And it's disgusting people apparently.
Why? Why? Wait. How did this happen? And why is it out there? And why are people looking? And why is it
Well,
disgusting?
it started because someone said, "Oh, I'm getting tired of seeing this." And so somebody else who's in the chat, who may or may not be me, zoomed in really, really close, took a screenshot, and reposted it for everyone's viewing pleasure. And that's just created a shitstorm of people saying, "Make it stop. Oh, my eyes." I can't repeat some of this stuff. I mean, I could, but I'm just not going to.
Is it infected?
No, no, I can't tell you much more or it would give it away. And yeah, I'm just not doing that right now. We'll
Okay.
talk off
Okay.
the air. I've even got people saying, "Please stop," um, because it's hurting their eyes. One person's getting ready to eat, and it ruined his dinner. So yeah, I guess it was too much man nipple for people. It was not mine, by the way. You like my shirt I got from Walmart?
You'll have to stand up. I can't see it.
You can't see it? Maybe you
No,
should
it's just
stand up.
recycle, reuse, and what?
Renew
Yeah. Yeah.
and rethink.
Wow, that is
Well,
philosophical.
well, not really. I got to figure out my hands here now. Okay, look, I got to get a piece of paper for you to really see this. Now, do you see it?
I see. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That's the one we talked about.
Yes, it is.
It says the naughty word.
It does. It does. For you that can't see this video or that are listening, recycle, reuse, renew, rethink. Write those down on a piece of paper. A big re, and then next to it put cycle, use, new, and think. And then figure it out. It does not stand for see you next Tuesday, but yeah.
I was thinking about how you were turning over a new leaf and being philosophical about the earth and green
Right.
energy. And no, you're just being filthy.
I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, it's a good shirt. My better half may also have this shirt in red.
Why does it have sleeves?
I okay, all right. So there's a very good reason for this. On occasion, I may or may not get yelled at for removing the sleeves from basically all of my t-shirts. And I get told, "You really need to have a few shirts with sleeves so that way if I have to go somewhere where they don't like sleeveless shirts, that I have shirts to wear."
Where would you go?
I don't
That
know.
where? I mean, you're not going to find dining establishments.
Not in this town.
And if they did, wouldn't they give you a jacket? Isn't that the rule? They have to give you a jacket.
There was something in my cup,
Oh
and
my
it
god!
wasn't water.
It's
Yes.
probably something from the man nipple.
Oh, no. That's gross. No. What is that? I really don't know what this is. I'm going to save that for later. But anyway, um, yeah, no. Hey, Kathy, thanks for joining in. She says that she's currently waiting for her MRI appointment and will be watching until they call her in. I will give you $5 if you continue watching in the MRI. So therefore, you're going to be $5 richer if you do it. Actually, if you can, I'm going to give you the link to call in, and you have to call in the middle of the MRI.
Oh wow! That would be loud, though. Man, those things are loud.
I'd mute her,
Yeah.
but it would
You
be
know what
cool.
I do? I sleep in those things.
Are you in there that long?
Depends. The last one I had, I think I was in there 20 or 30 minutes.
Oh, she said she will die, so no.
No, we don't want that.
Well, no, we don't. We don't want that. I don't think you would die, but okay, all right, $5. I'll save it for the next person. That's the one he chose to keep the sleeves on. Now I'm getting yelled at for choosing this shirt to keep the sleeves on.
You just got it, didn't you?
Well, no, I've had no, I've had it for about a month.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a month of keeping the sleeves on. It has been hot around here, so the sleeves are getting ready to come off.
I keep the sleeves on probably more than you do, but I have a ton of sleeveless shirts, and if it gets to a point where the shirt's getting pretty worn out, sleeves
Yeah.
come off.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
those are the best ones. The best fitting, the best feeling.
Yep.
They're the best shirts ever. It's just like
Yep.
socks.
Well, no, I don't want a bunch of holes in my socks.
Oh. Or underwear.
No, that's not good either.
Shit. All right, maybe
Yep.
it is just the shirts.
It's just shirts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep the sleeves on this one. You guys can call me out at some point when I wear this again and it doesn't have sleeves, but nobody will remember. We're fine. Yeah. And I just got told that you can't take your phone into the MRI. What they don't know won't hurt them.
Won't hurt anything.
Exactly. That's like saying you can't smoke when you're pumping gas, or you have to turn your engine off when you're pumping gas. No, you don't. That's a
You see
suggestion.
videos of those people that are just spontaneously combust at the gas pumps?
I know a lady that got in trouble for that, and she actually got arrested because she caught on fire.
She got in trouble for spontaneously combusting at the gas pump?
Well, she was smoking. She was smoking while she was pumping gas. Caught on fire and was subsequently arrested after they put the fire out.
I was going to say, did they put the fire out first?
Well, yeah, but she was arrested for illegal possession of a firearm.
Oh, God.
That was funny.
Terrible.
That was good. That was funny. Nobody's laughing. Okay, maybe it just got there. Somebody's got to laugh at that.
I just did.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was like my dad joke of the day. Of the
I hope
month,
little
maybe.
She pays attention and knows that I laughed.
Yeah, hopefully she does. She's probably not even paying attention. She's in the market for a new vehicle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So let's take this back a couple years. She's had the same vehicle for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And when she needed it, it was her very first vehicle. So she needed mom and dad's help. Just as a co-signer. So I co-signed. She's living in Florida. Her sister in Alabama has a friend that works at a car dealership, found her this car. We bought it for her. Well, we didn't buy it for her. We co-signed with her on this. And her sister drove the car from Alabama to where Ashley, or whatever her name is in Florida. Yeah, you see what I did there. But
yes.
so little TBT gets his car drove to her from her sister in Alabama. She never test drove it. Her sister did for her, did everything, checked it out, made sure it had clean tires or, had oil, NOS, all the good stuff.
Right.
And drove it to her. So now, now she's in the market for a new vehicle, and she wants a, is it Pathfinder? I think that I may be wrong.
I've got one for sale. I was just saying.
A Pathfinder?
Nope, I just got a car.
So it is a. Oh, I'm sorry. She sent me a picture today of one that she likes. She's looking at a 4Runner.
Okay.
A Toyota 4Runner.
Those things last forever.
Yeah. She
may never need another car the way those things go.
You know what disturbs me about it, though?
What's that?
The one she sent me a picture of is not a 4x4.
Okay.
It only has 2-wheel drive. Now, maybe for her, that wouldn't be
She's
such
not.
a big deal. I know she's
Yeah,
in Florida. What does she need a 4x4?
in Florida.
Yeah. But if they drive up here, say in the wintertime, they
Are
may
you kidding?
need.
It's winter in Indiana. It might as well be Florida.
Well, yeah, knock on wood, don't you jinx that.
I mean,
We've had very mild winters here the past 2.
we have snow once a year here, and it's in February.
Well, that's true. What if she decides to visit in February?
There you go.
So,
Well, I bought a truck and trying to sell a car now because I've got. I mean, my driveway looks like a used car lot,
right.
and it drives me crazy. So I've got another truck, my old truck, in a car. I need to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And I thought Facebook Marketplace would be the place to put that, and people would jump all over it. Oh no, it's just sitting there. I had one person try to scam me,
That was
and then
me.
yeah, and then one person wanted me to trade for a Tahoe that is like 10 years older or something. I'm like, no, I'm not trading. I want the money.
Here's a recommendation.
Okay.
And this is not this isn't in support of this, but I put mine on when I was selling my black truck a few years ago, cars.com.
Ah, okay.
And I had dealers calling saying, "Hey, do you still have it?" And I ended up selling it to a dealer who came up here to me and handled everything. I didn't have to take it nowhere. They came up, looked at it, said, "Hang on, let me jump back in my vehicle and I'll throw you a price." They did that. They threw me a price, and I said, "Okay, sounds good," and sold it right there in my driveway.
That's pretty
So
convenient.
yeah,
That's very convenient.
very. I didn't have to do anything. It was great, other than cash the check.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I might do that.
In Florida, that might be okay. In Florida, that would be okay, right? Yes, Natalie, we've established that. They won't need 4-wheel drive in Florida. But what happens if she gets the truck and then gets stationed in Germany?
She can't drive it over the. It doesn't matter if it's 4-wheel drive.
They can ship it. That's what happened when I moved to Guam. We shipped our vehicle.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they also had snake catching vehicles in
This
Guam
is
for you.
true. Okay, Iceland, we shipped our vehicle.
Really?
Yeah, we shipped it on a shipping ship.
How long did it take? Did it take like 6 months?
It was there. It was there when we got there.
Is
But
it 4-wheel drive? Because I mean, in Iceland, it's on ice.
oh yeah, man, this was a 1986 Ford Bronco.
Yeehaw!
That daggone thing go everywhere. You had to get outside and lock the hubs, and boy, you're going everywhere.
Wow!
Yeah.
I didn't know that it would take the time to ship a vehicle.
Oh yeah, that's the normal thing to do.
I assumed you would just go get another one or rent one or something.
True, but no, they regularly ship them,
Well,
and it was done. So
I've learned a lot in the last 15 minutes.
you have 19 minutes that we've been going here, and there's been so much learned about man nipples, vehicles, how you can get your sister to find you a car. She finds a car and then brings you the car.
Why you have sleeves?
Kathy won't take the MRI or the phone into the MRI, and things floating in my cup. So yeah, we've covered a lot.
Well, now what?
I don't know. I mean, what else is there? I mean, we've given life lessons today, and that's almost enough for everybody. We have 40 minutes left because we like to stay around about an hour. And yeah, there's absolutely no reason to talk about anything. I just had to turn the rest of the chat on. Apparently, I was missing some of it. No, I'm not. They just ain't talking. Let's dive into these albums,
Sure, we talked
or at
about
least
two.
one of them.
Well, we talked about two.
Right.
One of them being the new Avenged Sevenfold, Life is But a Dream, correct?
Correct.
And the other being Elegant Weapons, which is a group formed by Richie Faulkner of Judas Priest.
Yes. Both albums are freaking phenomenal.
Well,
I
we'll
am
talk.
yeah, I'm more into the Avenged Sevenfold than I am the Elegant Weapons, but that's really, like I was telling you before we went on the air, that's really just simply because I've not really listened to the Elegant Weapons but one time. I've listened to the Avenged Sevenfold about 7 times.
Right. And earlier today or last night, you were telling me how phenomenal it was when we were
Right.
deciding to talk about this. I had been through it about once. I went through it some more today. Um, Originally, a few weeks back, they released a single. Is it Nothing? Is that what that was called?
Correct.
And we both really liked that song. Okay.
Yes.
When I started playing last night, I was coming home from job number 6,
Yes.
and I thought, well, I'm going to listen to this Avenged Sevenfold record while I'm driving. I played the first 2 songs, and then that third one came on, which is Nothing. That's a single. I wasn't sure what I was listening to, and it changed the way I heard that single, the third song, Nothing. It changed that song in
Yes.
the context of those 2 other songs. This is not what you're used to from Avenged Sevenfold, and I'm no expert, but if you're expecting Hail to the King, you're not getting that.
No.
This is experimental, to
Sort
say
of.
the least. Wouldn't you think?
No.
No.
I don't think so. No. So this is one of those albums. I'm gonna put this right out there, like first and foremost. This is one of those albums that needs to be listened to in its entirety in one sitting.
I think you're right. That's what I'm gathering from the internet too.
This is a complete, almost basically a story. This is a
It's like
story being told.
it's like a play.
Yeah, it's almost like a Pink Floyd album. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's almost like their version of The Wall. I mean, a total different story, but it's their The Wall, and it's a complete story. This album is their first since 2017. Um, and it is, as you said, it is all over the place. When I
It,
first heard the
it
first
really is.
track, I immediately thought, am I listening to the System of a Down? You know, did somebody screw this up and put the wrong thing? And then as we kept going into this album with amazing freaking guitar solos, I'll throw that out there.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Um, this is a very bold album, if you will. It is definitely not what you would expect to get from Avenged Sevenfold, but then at the same time, I almost think it is what you would expect from Avenged Sevenfold, um, especially since it's been so long since they put out an album. I'm looking at the track list now, and I'm going through a few things.
Right. And I got that song
Weird,
wrong. It's Nobody.
yeah, weird,
Nobody.
subversive, you name it. Avenged Sevenfold's new album is all that and more. This is a quote from one of the articles I read. It's a smorgasbord of different sounds that can be overwhelming, yet Avenged Sevenfold makes all these combinations work seamlessly. Um, I absolutely agree. It is it's very hard to explain, but for me personally, I think I told you this a few days ago. For me, this is right up there for album of the year for me so far.
Right. You said that, and I thought, man, you are really taking a stab with this. That you're putting it on that high of a mantle, but and I don't know what else you would put up next to it at the moment off the top of my head, but
Sure.
I don't know. It's something that's going to take longer for me to sit with. I will say that Easier and G, those 2 songs, man, that really picked up the pace for me.
Right.
Uh, those had some of the solo work you were talking about,
Yes.
uh, which is not necessarily shreddy. Uh, it's not typical, solo work that you get from Avenged Sevenfold. It's extraordinary though. It's really good stuff.
Exactly.
But it's if you're expecting some Hail to the King or heavy metal, you're not getting that. You're getting a total different record. You're
Yeah,
getting
I think
it's an
I,
experience.
right. I think there's two songs that really. There's only two that sound kind of traditional for Avenged Sevenfold, and that's Nobody and Mattel.
Oh,
Those
that
sound.
that one was a trip though.
It is.
It's got and let me explain a little bit. Game Over, Mattel, Nobody, especially Mattel. It starts out thrashy. Then it stops in the middle. It shifts gears, and it's got light piano work and a different chorus that you wouldn't expect. These are lilty, bouncy, poetic lyrics that with the melody, and then we're back to thrashy, and it's all over the place. But it does blend together. It does blend together well.
Yeah, absolutely. The you just mentioned G. There are three tracks in a row. One is G, and I want you guys to visualize this. One is G. The next song is Ordinary, and the next song is Death.
Ooh, it's like your shirt.
Right. Now put the first letters of all that together. G,
What's that spell?
Ordinary, Death. So it's basically they switch the perspective to a parody of God and tells a strange tale about humanity that fits well with the album's experimentation. G sees this deity regret creating mankind, showing a lack of care. On Ordinary, mankind has been deleted, leaving a lone robot that begs to have a soul. And then there's Death, that caps things off as humanity and the robot or whoever has accepted death, or at least the idea of it. The entire album, like I mentioned a while ago, is a story. And the way this album just the way it progresses and then it ends. I was playing it on my playlist, and when it ended, all of a sudden I've got Steel Heart playing, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? And I had to go back and re-listen to the last song on that album and the way it ended, and I was like, oh, like I was waiting for part two. But
Right.
listening to it all the way through has definitely left me wanting more. And I just hope that we're not 6 years away again from their next album, because this one to me is almost perfection. And now there's some people out there that hate it because they don't like change. I think this is freaking amazing.
To your point, the review I'm looking at describes it God as a three-song suite: G, Ordinary, and Death. Meanwhile, reckoning on big ideas, life, love, religion, and once again, killer AI, which is what you discussed with this
Right.
robot, while cramming in country, soul, disco, jazz, and everything in between. Um, and here's the thing, and we've talked about this before. People complain when bands stay the same and don't shake things up, and when they do shake things up, they want it to go back to the way it was because we're fickle that way. One of your complaints about ACDC is that you think it all sounds the same. Uh, if they shifted it up and did this, you'd be like, oh my God, go back to Back in Black or something. I think this is one band that can pull this type of record off and do it without hurting any of their cred. I don't know how you would present this live, but it'll be interesting to see what they have in mind. I don't
But
know
I
where you
think they,
see songs.
yeah, I think they should be commended. I mean, they've just bucked the status quo and said, "Hey, you were waiting for our new album. Here it is." They've created something that's going to challenge you melodically, even because you're not expecting what you're getting ready to hear, and then you're like, "Okay, well, the next song will be better." Well, then you get to the two tracks that were released, prior to the album, and you're like, "Oh, okay, here we go." But then you're right back into it again. And for me, I was just like, "Holy crap, what is going on?" But I think it was that dynamic with those different songs and how they're pieced together and edited and the production that made me just fall in love with this freaking album. I think it's absolutely phenomenal.
I would urge anyone, a metal fan of any kind, to listen to it. And if you don't get it the first time, sit with it a couple times.
Oh, easily.
And you'll start getting it. Again, I still want to go back and listen to it only because I'm trying to absorb all the things that are going on in it.
Yeah.
I played it today at lunch for the wife, and I'm asking her, what am I listening to? What am I listening to? And then I played her a sample of. I keep saying "Hail to the King," but that's the one I picked. And I said, "This is what I'm used to. This is what I'm expecting." And then I get this, where we're in a stick shift, and the guy driving doesn't know how to drive it.
Right.
That's what we're in, and so either way, it's fascinating.
Yeah. Sinister Gates, who's the lead guitarist, he's highlighted quite a bit. Just anybody that's familiar with Avenged Sevenfold knows how good of a guitarist he is, and this album puts a lot of that right out there. Now there is a lot of, like, I don't know, punkish kind of techno stuff going, like you just mentioned a while ago, but I agree with you. If you listen to it and you're not sure what the hell you just listened to, just play it again, or do it
Right.
like I did and do it 7 times so far.
Yeah, and then you're finally getting used to the changes and the tempo shifts and things like that. So
Yeah. For what I say, what was it? Would I say 2013 since their last album, or 16?
I think you said 16.
Okay, so if it's since 2016, um, this was well worth the wait, in my opinion. 11 tracks that all kick ass in their own way. Some of them you might say, well, that's just too soft. But it's well worth it. Check it out, especially check out some of the videos that they've done on the YouTubes. They're It's really good. It's really good. And if you want the album, of course, reach out to Kathy and see if she can get the album for you. Support your local record store. And if she can't get it, then maybe one around you locally can. But go get it. Go watch it. Go listen to it. All the above. Speaking of watching and listening to things, it's a little past the 30-minute mark. And you know what that means.
What time is it?
It's 30 minutes past the hour.
Yeah, but what's that mean?
You don't know what that means?
I do, but I'm trying to tell you to set it up.
It means this.
It's that poor bastard time.
Hey guys, it's Natalie. Earlier this week, 2 inmates of the Newport News City Jail escaped from their cells using a toothbrush and a metal object. They would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for pancakes. Arlie Nemo and John Garza used a toothbrush and metal object to tunnel out of jail and then scaled a wall and escaped the facility. Their freedom didn't last long, though. A tip led cops back to them as they dined at an IHOP about 15 minutes away. One good thing to come from this escape, though, is the sheriff's office brought in engineers to review the building's weaknesses and research ways to address them so that others won't be able to escape like these two. Poor bastards.
Wait, I love how they don't say what the metal object is.
No. Natalie, what the hell was the metal object?
Well, we don't want to give anyone any ideas.
Oh, very true.
Well,
there's an issue if they're listening to us.
Right.
Once again, thank you to Natalie for providing our weekly Poor Bastard. You can hear that now every week, unless we fire her again for the 6th, 7th, 8th time. I don't remember. But still, once again, thank you for sure to Natalie for that. You have been getting me into a new album that, admittedly, I was not really looking for, I guess would be the best thing to say. And then when you sent it to me, I listened to it. I've listened to it once so far, and this one too is absolutely worth bringing up in this podcast because you want to talk about some kick-ass heavy metal, some good like stuff that's recent and kind of echoes a little bit of some 80s vibe. The new Elegant Weapons Horns for a Halo is now out, and I'll let you take over with this one.
Well, Elegant Weapons is a what you might call a super group of sorts. Not necessarily like we used to get them, but these guys have been around in other bands. Richie Faulkner is the guitar player, uh, known for Judas Priest. Ronnie Romero is the singer, known for Rainbow. He got with Rainbow when they went back to playing rock. Richie Blackmore came back,
Yeah.
basically. I think Rex Fox actually played on the record, played bass from Pantera. He will not be touring because he's busy with Pantera, but they've got some other guys, Chris Williams from Uriah Heep and David Rimmer.
Rex
Yeah, and he'll
Brown,
play
right?
bass. Yeah, what did I say? Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rex Brown. I'm sorry.
I thought you all of a sudden went to Steel Panther.
I did, man. I did. So, yeah, so this is making the rounds because it's coming out with and Faulkner's the face of it. This is his gig, basically trying to set himself up for life after Judas Priest. He wants to be able to do something,
Right.
when and if that happens. So this is a little more of your blues-based '80s sounding rock, a little more heavy Sabbathy. That it's a mix of several influences like that. A lot of great guitar work because we're talking about a guy who plays lead guitar in Judas Priest. But the thing that blows me away about the record is Ronnie Romero, the singer. I was really impressed with how this guy brings it. He's excellent. He's
Yeah.
I've been through this record about 2 times, kind of living with it a little bit, trying to get used to it so I can talk about it. But I really enjoyed it. I know you went through it about 1 time. I'm not sure what you thought of it, but what is your opinion on that?
It is great. Hard rock, kind of just full of hard rock anthems. Was really my first thought about it. Uh, when it kicked off, I hadn't listened to Ronnie Romero that much. So first track, I will be the first to admit when the vocals took off, I really wasn't into it very much. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, there's just something off. I don't know if it was really I don't know if it was the vocals themselves, the way it was mixed or produced or something, but it just wasn't catching me. And then as that song went on, we're talking maybe, maybe 45 seconds into the actual vocalist, then it started getting a little bit more catchy for me and I was catching on. And then from that point on, the rest of the album was just phenomenal.
You know, funny you mentioned that because there's one Ghost of You, I believe, a bit
Yes.
of a smoke-filled blues bar type of song that I was not into until, oh gosh, right toward the end, that sucker built up to a boil, and the guitar work at the end of it, the vocal, all of that. Then it was worth it.
Yeah, it's a
That
very
wait,
very dark a very dark ballad, I
right?
guess.
Yeah, but it was worth the wait to hear how it built up to that large ending that we got. So there's a lot of things like that where we're building up to things in the record, the solo, and but we have the vocals over it. I think musically they're exceptional in how they play. They
Yes.
do a cover of UFO's "Lights Out," which I really liked. I thought they did a really good job on that.
Yep.
They don't change it up much. They don't mess with it. They don't jack around. They just play the song and they just kill it. I don't even think they change the solo. I
No, I
think
don't
Faulkner
think so.
plays it. He plays it straight, just like Michael Schenker.
Yeah, the guitar work. I mean, obviously we know who we're talking about when when we're talking about the guitar work on this. But yeah, the whole album. I just had to get through that first part of that vocal, and that was it. But yeah, it's well produced, well put together, strong. Could definitely stand on its own. And I think this is. They got a. I know they have White Horse on that album, but I think this is very well a dark horse as far as good rock, rock anthem type of albums, and is definitely worth purchasing. I mean, instead of just listening to a couple songs, the whole thing is really good.
Right. You can't. I mean, the two albums we're talking about. I don't think you can go wrong with giving each one of them a listen. I mean, you're going to get an experience you haven't had in a long time if you're listening to the Avenged Sevenfold record, and then you listen to this Elegant Weapons album. You're going to get some straight up metal with fantastic vocals, fantastic singing, and great guitar work. So can't go wrong with either one of these. I don't believe. I've enjoyed both of them. I've got to dig into them even deeper and really sit with them.
Yeah, have you
But
looked at any of the songwriting credentials? Were these all wrote by the band? Well, obviously, with the exception of the covers they did, but
I think a lot of it was Faulkner. I listened to a recent interview with him, and a lot of these ideas he's been carrying around. Uh, while with Priest, it's one of those deals where he has come in that band. They have given him room to express himself and that sort of thing, but he's not writing Judas Priest music per se.
right.
So he has a lot of these things sitting around in his head, and now we're putting pen to paper and writing some songs and recording them. And I think a lot of this is Richie.
Okay. Yeah. They do. Well, how many tracks was on this? Were 10 tracks, 53 minutes long, and one song, the aforementioned White Horse, is a 7 minute monster.
Yeah, that's what I just saw. A 7 minute
Yeah.
month. Uh,
Um, a fully, what they call this one, a fully spec'd number. It has all the options ticked. There's even a part where you can hear a Hammond style organ. This will keep the fans well and truly on their toes during a show, from some gentle head nodding to wild mosh pits. And again, that's a 7 minute long song. Have you noticed that bands are starting to do that a little bit more often? They're coming out with these tracks that are, 7, 8, 9 minutes long. Metallica just did it. Now
uh,
these guys,
yeah, and then Avenged Sevenfold has a couple
yeah,
on that record that are 7 or 8 minutes. Um, I think it's. I think they're wanting to do something like that that's more expressive, more proggish sounding. Um, if you limit yourself to 3 or so minutes, maybe you're not getting the whole expression out of what you want to say. So,
exactly.
yeah, I think I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't want every song to be 7 or 8 minutes long, but you throw a barn burner on there that's 7 minutes and has great vocals and a killer guitar solo. I'm in for that.
Yeah,
You know,
just don't keep redoing the same thing over and over. Definitely, mix it up a little bit. But yeah, this I could live with it, especially if it's good. I don't want a shitty Milli Vanilli song for 7 minutes by
right?
by
Uh,
any means.
Let me look something up real quick. But there is a song by Black Country Communion that
All
I
right,
just
while
love.
while you're doing that, we'll give Kathy another shout out. She's done with the MRI. She did
Oh,
not
good.
die from claustrophobia. She's waiting on them to burn the disc for her to take with her. Yeah. And she was listening to Judas Priest while she was in the MRI machine. So how ironic she was listening to that, and we're talking about this.
Right. The song I'm talking about, "Song of Yesterday," came out a few years ago on Black Country Communion record. And Joe Bonamassa, it's a super group. Joe Bonamassa, uh, Glenn Hughes,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think Shad Smith. I think, from Chili Peppers.
Right.
But it's 9 minutes long. But it does not feel like 9 minutes.
No.
It's a lot of, it's dual vocals. So you have Bonamassa and Glenn Hughes singing. And then Bonamassa rips a solo in there it might be, 2 minutes long, but it's amazing. It's amazing. And that's what I'm talking about. You don't feel like these are 7, 8, 9 minute songs.
Right.
So if you like good bluesy rock, look up Black Country Communion. They're getting ready to put another record out. They are in their 4th day of laying tracks down right now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So we'll be having another one of those. So it's good stuff.
I just pulled up because I was curious the longest songs ever recorded, and the top one. And I'm not gonna. This is not counting the Flaming Lips, who had a 24-hour song.
Oh, God.
The Orb with the Blue Room clocked in at just under 40 minutes at 39 minutes 58 seconds.
How do you record something like that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever listened to it. On this list also includes Pink Floyd, Echoes, from the 71 Metal album. Yeah. I don't know. Velvet Underground, Sister Ray, 17 minutes.
Okay.
The Doors.
Really?
11 minutes, 43 seconds for the song The End.
Oh, gosh. Don't get me going about the Doors.
Yeah. David Bowie, Station to Station, clocks in at 10 minutes, 14 seconds.
Well, didn't Rush put a record out that was like a whole one song? Like, isn't 2112 like one song?
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, the same could almost be said for this Avenged Sevenfold album. I mean, it
Right.
could be one song. Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick, 43 minutes, 50 seconds.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I wouldn't shit you. You're my favorite turd.
Is there room? I mean, on an album, is that 2 sides of an LP?
I don't know.
Do you flip the cassette over?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. How do you get a single out of that? Singles weren't that long.
You cut the middle 3 minutes.
Yeah. 2112 was 20 minutes and 33 seconds long.
There you go.
Yeah, so it was a long one. Excuse me. Velvet Underground. What was Sister Ray? It was 17 minutes. Inavita Gavata, I'm going to try that again.
Inagata Davida?
Yeah. Iron Butterfly, 1705.
Wow, I've not heard that in years, and I didn't know it was that long. Did not know it was that long.
But see, that's what I like when, like you said, when they're a long song and you don't notice, and then you're like, damn, I want to play that again, and then you look at the track and you're like, good grief, that's 15 damn minutes of my life. Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Jethro Tull, yeah, all right.
We'll post some of these on the Facebook page after the show, and people can dig into them a little bit.
So,
especially,
yeah. Speaking of that, speaking of the Book of Face, I was on there the other day, and I came across a band that I was like, okay, they sound pretty good. I ended up sending some of that stuff to you.
Oh, right.
And I found these guys on. Did I find them on Instagram? I don't remember. But if you've not listened to Echo Stone, that's ECHOSTONE, Echo Stone, give them a listen. I do not believe they have an album out yet. I've been able to find 4 tracks, one of which I think was just released
right
a couple weeks ago. They're out of North Carolina. They're a rising band, kind of like All the Pretty Things,
right.
Who we've had on interviewed. These guys are pretty good. It's Echo Stone. Pull them up in YouTube or go visit them on Facebook. On our Facebook page, we actually posted one of their songs. Check them out. There's a good possibility. I know we're actually working to see if maybe we can't get them on to find out more about these guys, because it's always great when we can have a conversation with somebody from back in the day, but when we run across a band that really sounds good, that's somewhat new that a lot of people aren't getting into yet, we'd like to pull them in. So we're gonna see if we can't get somebody from Echo Stone on. But check those guys out. It's ECHOSTONE, one word, Echo Stone. The latest song that they've released is called Phase. I'd say it's kind of a ballad,
Kind of, yeah.
but
But and they're a more modern sounding type of rock band as opposed to what we just talked about. This is more of the modern sounding type of rock metal, the way the production's done.
correct.
Melodic, I would say melodic, which I like. The vocalist for that band is really good. I did reach out to them. I've not really heard anything back. I'm hoping to soon. If not, we'll reach out again.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but yeah, good stuff. And what I like about interviewing a band like this is that when you talk to someone that has done this for 30 years, they remember what it was like before digital and before how things are marketed now and recorded and before streaming. A band like this is all they know. So the perspective is so different. When we talked to Logan, they were recording in a basement studio, a track here and a track there, and drop-ins and doing all these different things. Um, but you wouldn't have done that 30 years ago at all, totally. You don't have to have a record deal. You don't have to have a production studio. You can do a lot of this with Pro Tools.
No kidding. Karabi, when we were talking to him, he was talking about doing stuff with Pro Tools in his house.
Wasn't he taking a class?
Yeah, like instructional videos or something like that.
On how to do it, because it's so much easier. Here's the great thing about this stuff: it's so easy to do it yourself on your time schedule, the way you want to do it, when you want to do it. The hard thing is, and this is like podcasting, anyone can do it. So there's a glut of this stuff out there that has varying degrees of success or quality. But yeah, anyone can do it. I could do it right now. It may not be worth a shit, but I could.
Yeah. I mean, you just mentioned it. Talking about podcasts. I mean, before we were able to do this and have your own studio with microphones and light setups and stuff like that. You were lucky to be able to find wherever the radio station was located from your town. Or it was going to be downtown, wherever you saw the building with the big antennas. But you didn't get a chance to go in and see your DJs performing or doing their work. All you had was listening to them. So the technology on both ends of that spectrum between being able to do what we're doing, and part of our history, you and I both went to school for broadcasting.
Right.
That's what we were going to do. Because we had the face for radio, as they say, and that's what we were going to do. And it didn't pan out because we took different career paths. But then look at us now. Here we are doing what we set out to do originally,
Right.
but we're doing it. We're doing it live on a video feed. That we're doing through YouTube, and then it's getting posted to all of these audio things like Apple and Spotify and all that. So we're kind of doing the same thing. But who would have thought? I know when I was playing DJ as a kid, listen to the radio with my tape player trying to record songs, that there's no way I would have ever thought that I never. I mean, it's not like I knew what a podcast was.
Right. And back then, of course, when we were DJing, you had a studio and you had a soundboard with the pods and you had the carts that you had to. I did it anyway, where you had to stick them in the machine and almost like an 8-track, something similar. Now we can do this, and I've got an iPad and I've got a light and I've got a phone. That's all I've got, and I don't have to invest in anything really. Obviously, we can make it better by investing in a whole bunch of stuff, but we don't have to.
Yeah. I was just looking for my headphones because I wanted to queue up the next track, and make sure that everything was ready to go. And, we don't have to do crossfades and, all that fun stuff to make sure that we're, getting the right part of the song. Cause that was the biggest thing. If somebody wants to record that song, you better not be talking
Yeah.
over it.
Oh my God. When I first started, we were just phasing out turntables.
Sure.
We were still using them. Yeah, we were still queuing them up, using turntables. We were still splicing tape for ads. We were
Yeah.
still doing that. Yeah. So we've come a long way. Come a
Yeah.
long way.
Now it's just a push of a button and you can do things like this.
Exactly. I mean, and technically, and we don't get into this a whole lot. Maybe we will in the future. The songs we're talking about. I mean, honestly, you could play snippets right there
Sure.
from your phone, your board, whatever you've got set up. And it's costing you nothing.
Yep.
You just gotta adhere to the FCC rule of how much you can play of it, or
Exactly.
what you can play of it. So it's that simple.
Yeah.
So
Crazy how technology comes into play nowadays for everything, by golly. Even Natalie, I mean, who would have thought that we would have her as part of this podcast for her to just do a simple voice recording and send it? She's got all week to send it. But what does she do? She waits until the day before. That's technology.
right.
Technology.
Right. If it, in back in the day, that would have been splicing together the tape.
Yeah.
And if you had to do it more than once, I mean, you're using a whole reel to get the right take. And it just, I spent probably 2 hours one night recording a spot for a nursing home. And
How about that got old?
well, yeah, it did. It got real old. The reason was I wrote the copy, the ad copy, but honestly, it was so damn funny. We couldn't get through it without laughing. I mean, I wish I had it now because the whole thing was I wrote this little scenario where like grandma's barricaded herself in the bedroom because they want to kick her out to the nursing home, but she doesn't want to go to the nursing home, right? So then they have to convince her by telling her how great the nursing home is. But I mean, we're doing voices. We got grandma's voice. We've got all these. It's just insanity. But we couldn't get through it without laughing.
I used to work for a retail store that had lots of big stuff, and they had. You see what I did there?
Yeah.
So it had a gosh, I don't remember what it was called. It's like a music caster or something. But I would sit back and I would record ads for the store. I would write out jingles. I was writing out commercials. And there's one that sticks in my head because it's just like you said, talking about voices. I was 3 characters in one ad, and it was because we had a sale on paper towels, and it was an old man who was with a kid and his father, and the kid made a mess, and all you would hear this old man is saying, "Do you want some paper towels?" And I said that like 6 or 7 times until the dad said, "Yes, I'll take a paper towel." And then the old man said something like they were sold out or something because the prices were so low that they sold out that quick. But it was things like that. And if you screwed up one time, you had to redo the entire thing.
Right. And that's what we kept doing
Yeah.
over and over.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. It certainly, I mean, the stories are fun, but some of it could be frustrating.
Yeah. It's just as frustrating as getting your weekly poor bastard, the day before the show. I mean, it's just yeah.
These things have to be approved.
Yeah. FCC approved and everything.
And if you can't approve it because you don't have the proper time to approve,
Yeah.
I mean, and she's only sending in one.
Right.
What if you send it back and say, no, this doesn't fly. It doesn't fit our standard.
Yeah.
I mean,
what if I can hear too many lip pops? Something. It's about time management. You know what I love?
what's that?
Bad Company Barbecue.
That's some good stuff.
You know what else I love?
What's that?
Music and More Records.
More good stuff.
Yeah, that's my shout out to both of them. To Jason, the Bad Company Barbecue, and Kathy, who made it through her MRI at Music and More Records. You know what I don't like?
What's that?
Getting the weekly Poor Bastard, like, the day before the show.